Hey everybody, Mike back. Today we're going to talk about swimming pools. What we should be doing when we first walk in on a Monday morning, or even when we're walking in on a Friday morning. But one thing you want to check, you're always going to look at your water. You're going to look to make sure there's nothing in the water that shouldn't be. One thing you need to do is check your skimmers. Let's check the baskets to make sure there's nothing in them. If there is, you clean them out, set them back into place. Every pool's got two of them. One's on the far end, on the shallow end. This is the deep end. You've got two main drains down at the bottom, which you can see. Everything's crystal clear in this pool. And if it would ever be that you couldn't see the drains, then you've got a major problem, and you need to shut the pool down if you cannot see those drains. But what we're going to move into is checking the chemical condition of the water. So we're going to get our test kit. So we've got the standard service tailored kit. So in this kit, you're going to find the chemicals that we need to check the pH and the alkalinities and the chlorine levels. The way I always tell people to do it, to take the little tubes, which is what we start with, and we'll set them there, and the chemical that's going to go in this one is going to be the red, and the yellow is going to go in on this side when we're ready for the chemicals. And then when we move it down to the other side for the other readings, we're going to be using the green into the corresponding container. So it works out good. To get our water sample, we'll get down here to the pool, and I'll kind of rinse this out a couple of times. And what you need to do is turn it upside down when you go down to your elbow. And then you turn it back right side up and fill it up. Then what we want to do, there's a little mark on each one of these containers, just a little line on there. On this side it's a little harder to see, number 9, but we need to get the water down to those lines. So we'll empty a little bit out and try to get that levels as close as we can to those corresponding marks. And we're going to take 5 drops of the R4, and we're going to hold the bottle straight up and down, because you want the same consistent drop each time. 5 drops. You're going to pull yellow, number 1, and you're going to put 5 drops in the other container. And while we're doing that, we're going to take number 2 out, and we're going to put 5 drops of him down into here. Then we're going to get our little top to put on it. Give it a good shaking. And we're going to come back and read it. So we've got like a 7.4, 7.5, which is good. But here we're very low on chlorine. So we know we got like 0 chlorine right now. But we're going to take number 3, and we're going to put 5 drops in. And we're going to see if that changes, because each time we're doing this, we're looking for a different measurement, from free chlorine to combined chlorine. So, yeah, that actually changed just a little bit, but it's very low. So let's move on to the next step of checking the alkalinity. We're going to empty the small tube out. But on this one, we need our water to be at the 25 mark. So the easy way to get that water to that mark is start pouring it out, and you watch this back edge as it comes down. As soon as it gets into this corner, stop and you're right on that 25 mark. And we're going to pull this first bottle, number 7 out, and we're going to put 2 drops into the beaker. Then we're going to grab our number 8 and put 5 drops. 5 drops, swirl it up, and what we're looking for is kind of that turquoise looking green, which means you're pretty much in the ballpark from my experience. So now we're going to add this chemical just a couple drops at a time and mix this as we go. So we'll put 1, 2, 3, and we're going to mix this. So what we saw is it turned kind of pink for a second, then it went back to green. So that's 3 drops so far. We'll put 2 more in, and we're going to swirl it. So now it's kind of turning red and getting away from that green. But what we're looking for is a brighter red. So let's put 1 more drop in. That would be 6 drops we've added. That's what we're looking for right now. That means that the alkalinity in this pool is a 60, 6 drops. So the alkalinity in this pool should actually be between 80 and 120. So we know we've got a couple things going wrong here with the alkalinity and the chlorine. So the alkalinity is easy enough to take care of. What we'll have to do is add some sodium bicarbonate to the water, and that will bring the alkalinity up. We got our trusty mixing cup or measuring cup. And we're just going to take 2 scoops for now, 2 full scoops. And we're just going to sprinkle it into the water. I'm going to just do this on one side, half in the middle, across the pool. Tomorrow when they check this pool, it should be up above the 80, which is what we're looking for. And again, it should be between 80 and 120. Your pH really needs to range between 7.2 and 7.8, but we're always shooting for a middle of the road. Now in this case, we are having a problem with chlorine. So what we're going to do, being we know we got 0 chlorine, we're going to have to actually shut the pool down if we're going to add the chlorine. So we got liquid chlorine here. We'll go ahead and put our sign on the door. Because we don't want anybody in here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now once we put this into the swimming pool. So on the bottle, it gives you the directions for use. And it says swimming pool water disinfection. Add 13 fluid ounces of this product for each 10,000 gallons of water to yield an available chlorine residual of 1 part per million. So it's telling us on a 10,000 gallon pool that we need to add 13 ounces. This pool is bigger than 10,000 gallons. It's more like 15, I believe. And you can find that information, and it tells you the gallons is 13,231. So 13 ounces is for 10,000 gallons. And if we've got another 300 gallons, so we're just going to add 17 ounces of chlorine for 13,000 gallons of water. And that's to raise it 1 part per million. And on your measuring cups, it's always marked in ounces. And we were talking 17 ounces right in that area. If we just did a whole cup, that's going to bring us up 2 parts per million. I think that's what we're just going to go ahead and do. When you're opening up your containers, they've always got that little safety seal that usually doesn't work. Yeah, it worked today though, where you can just pull it right off. So we're going to go ahead and just fill this up. And we're going to kind of spread this around the edges of the pool. And when you're pouring this in, you don't want to make it splash. You don't want to splash, because if it splashes on your clothes, it's going to put white spots on your clothes, which you probably don't want. So I try to hold it down as close as I can to the water and just kind of go around the edge of the pool. So now we've shut the pool down, and it's going to have to stay closed for about 2 hours while this circulates, because you don't want people in here swimming into a pocket of chlorine. It's not good for them, and it won't be good for your hotel either. So now that we've addressed the chlorine and the acidity of the pool, you also need to keep records of what you've done. So like today, we're just using this as an example, but our free chlorine, of course we had a 0, but say if everything had been working properly today, which when it leaves it will be because I'm working on it, but we're just going to say we had a 2 on our chlorine because that's what we're shooting for with what we did to the pool. And then if you go to check your total with the third chemical, like I said, you put the first 2 drops, 1 and 2 in, and that gets your free chlorine. Then you add that third drop to get your total chlorine number, and then you take that total chlorine number and you subtract it from the free chlorine and the total chlorine, which would leave you a 0 of combined chlorine if everything is working properly. Our pH that we had was a 7.5. Our clarity of our water was clear, and the temperature, we'll walk in here and we'll look at the heater. The heater says 84 degrees, so that's about what it felt like when I put my hand into it. For alkalinity reading, we had a 60, and at the same time we added, we're going to show that we added bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, with just a check mark. Now we also need to know our water flow and the pressure, which we'll have to go back here to get that information. So the water flow is this meter right here, and it is showing 110. So we're going to mark that for our flow. And then our pressure we've got on the gauge right here on top of our filter, which is showing about a 22. And the other things that we generally ask for on the pool pilot settings is we'll look at the readings that are on here. It's going to be kind of hard for you to get back here and see this, but like our orb reading .710, set point 710 is what will carry over every day. And then since I put that chlorine into the pool, it's kind of giving some bad readings up there. Those readings aren't as important as actually the physical blue box chemical readings. If you read them like that, though, and write down on the paper what you got by using your chemicals, that's the true story of what is in your swimming pool water. And that tells you what you need to do to fix it. Just like today, we knew our alkalinity was low, so we added sodium bicarbonate powder. I generally will add 1 cup of powder for every 10 or every 10 numbers. Like we were at a 60. If I wanted 100, I really would have had like 4 cups of that powder. But I'm just trying to bring it up to the 80 mark. Also, you got to remember it's important to keep that alkalinity at a higher rate. And I try to, like I said, I always strive for 100 because that helps the pH stay in line and that helps the chlorine stay in line. So it's like a play day for 3 kids. If you got 1 kid that's just being a real butthead, nobody else gets along in the swimming pool. But if everybody's getting along chemical-wise, then they all work in the pool, everything stays at the levels it should be. But it's very important to be checking these pools every morning and every night so you can make any adjustments, or if you find something wrong that you need to shut the pool down. So that's what I got for you for now. So that's all I got on the pools for here. Thank you.